Right now, we're hearing from Madison's interim police chief about what can be done to help bridge the gap between police and protesters.
Plus, the U.S. is officially in an economic recession when economists say we could see signs of recovery.
It's an alert day today as the remnants of a tropical system make their way into southern Wisconsin. Full forecast is coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks. We hope your Tuesday is starting off well. It is June 9th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Breiter. Chris Stanford is off today. Wisconsin will soon be feeling the effects of a post-tropical storm system.
Oh, yeah. Miss Hattie McLean is here now with our latest alert day forecast. Hey, Hattie.
That's right, guys. Yeah, it's not very often that we see the effects of a tropical system here in Wisconsin. It's happened less than 5 times in history. Today will be one of those days as the remnants of Cristobal make their way into southern Wisconsin. It brings with it the threat for severe weather. We cannot rule out an isolated tornado with the movement with this system. Also potential for some heavy rain, although the latest forecasts are taking that axis of heavy rain a little bit further to the west. We're still looking at 2-day rain totals, though, 1 to 3 inches, especially along the Mississippi River Valley. Here's where that storm is this morning. You can see the counterclockwise circulation of this particular system. The center of the storm still south of St. Louis. Some shower and thunderstorm activity south of Memphis this morning. You can see also the potential for a little bit of hail. You see that blue shaded color embedded within those storms. This moisture will continue to lift northward through the day today. It'll make its way into southern Wisconsin after lunchtime. Now, as far as the severe weather threat is concerned, that's mainly confined to western and southern Wisconsin. Higher likelihood south of Chicago, but again, cannot rule out that isolated threat. Again, it follows the interstate from Madison all the way up to Eau Claire today. Flash flood watches are in effect for parts of the area still. They'll go into effect this afternoon through this evening for southwestern Wisconsin. That's where we expect to see the heaviest rain. Future Track forecast model says enjoy that sunshine early this morning. By lunchtime, we're looking at cloudy skies. We may start to see some of that initial rain move into the area by lunch hour, but as we head through the afternoon, that rain continues to lift northward and expands across the area. For us here in Dane County and Madison, it'll likely be more of a scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, heavier, steadier rain right along the river valley. All that moisture lifts to the north by midnight tonight. Things will quiet down a little bit overnight, but rain chances return tomorrow. Here's a look at those 2-day precipitation totals. By Thursday at 6 o'clock, we're looking at ½ an inch in far eastern Wisconsin. Those amounts do increase to the 2 to 3 inch range, though, right along the Mississippi River Valley. Winds are going to be a factor with this storm as well. They'll be from the east today, gusting to around 30-35 miles an hour. As the center of the storm moves through, we'll shift to a westerly wind on Wednesday. And again, those wind gusts during the afternoon could be in excess of 30 miles an hour. Your extended forecast after the next couple of days looking pretty quiet. An isolated threat for a shower on Thursday. Otherwise, lots of sunshine for Friday and the upcoming weekend. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, but very nice in the low to mid 70s.
We've been pretty spoiled lately. I think I've taken the canoe out almost every single day in the last week or 2.
Have you? Well, if you do it early today, remember we work the early shift, so you have time.
Got to keep the
I'm
streak
hoping
going.
I can get out to the pool just for a little bit too.
Josh.
Got to keep that tan going.
He does have a great tan right now.
I've been wearing that sunscreen, I promise.
All right.
I think of you every day.
Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
6:03 now, and new information about a house fire on the west side last week that killed 2 people. We now know the names of those 2 victims. 32-year-old Brent Brodge of Madison was found dead at the scene. 21-year-old Keani Braxton from Janesville had to be taken to the hospital and died shortly later. 2 others were able to get out okay. The cause of that fire on Seminole Highway is still under investigation.
A St. Paul man charged in connection to fires set at the Minneapolis Police Department's 3rd Precinct is expected to be in court today. 23-year-old Brandon Wolf is charged with aiding and abetting arson. Wolf was identified as a suspect last week after he was fired from his job after bragging on social media about stealing items from the police department. At the time of his arrest, Wolf was wearing multiple items he stole, including body armor, a police-issued belt, and a knife. He admitted to being inside the police precinct during the riots on May 28th, stealing those items and pushing a barrel into the fire to help it burn longer. 2 weeks after the death of George Floyd, the majority of city council members in Minneapolis promised to dismantle the city's police department and replace it with a new system of public safety. But before the city council can defund the department, they need to have a plan for a new system in place, something they admittedly don't have yet. The mayor could then veto that vote, and the city council can override that decision with a 2/3 majority. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has ruled out defunding police, saying he is considering police reform as a better option.
The message from some protesters here in Madison is clear. Take a look at this video from downtown. Defund the police is painted in bold lettering on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in front of the city-county building leading up to the Capitol building. Meanwhile, the Police and Fire Commission are getting updates from Interim Chief Vic Wall on this week of protests. They asked how he's planning to bridge the gap between police and protesters. Wall says he thinks taking part in Sunday's march was a step forward, but he acknowledges not all groups are on board with police involvement and that there's still a divide.
Does each side just think the other one is making something up, do you think? Or do police officers think that folks are making this up?
I don't think our people at all think anybody's making it up by any stretch. And I will clarify that I don't think that that our folks are perfect. We continue to try to do our best.
The PFC talked about getting the ball rolling again on the search for Wall's permanent replacement. They're planning to meet with Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, who put out a message saying she wants the next chief to move police reform and social justice forward.
President Trump, meanwhile, is criticizing the movement to defund and dismantle police departments.
We won't be ending our police force in a city. I guess you might have some cities that want to try, but it's going to be very sad situation.
During a meeting with law enforcement officers, the president said he is open to discussing ideas and concepts involving police reform and that he believes 99% of police officers are, quote, great people. According to a spokesperson, presidential candidate Joe Biden also opposes defunding police departments. Friends and family will gather in Houston, Texas today for a private funeral service celebrating the life of George Floyd. Floyd will then be buried next to his mother. You can watch that on CBSN and online starting at 11 this morning.
Derek Chauvin is being held on $1 million bond this morning. Meanwhile, the judge dropped his bond from the original $1.25 million, provided Chauvin agreed to several stipulations. Those include turning in any guns he owns, staying in the state, and agreeing not to work in any kind of security or law enforcement capacity. Chauvin is next set to appear in court on June 29th. That's the same day 3 other officers involved are also scheduled for court appearances. A man accused of driving his car through a group of protesters in Virginia this weekend is an admitted leader of the Ku Klux Klan. Harry Rogers is facing several charges, including felony vandalism, assault, and battery. The 36-year-old is accused of driving through a crowd of protesters in the Richmond area. Officers say they're investigating whether hate crime charges are also appropriate. Rogers is being held without bond.
A 64-year-old Wisconsin woman is facing charges this morning after being caught on camera spitting on a young protester during a rally in Shorewood. You can see it happen right here in this cell phone video. Protesters asked Stephanie Rapkin to move her car after she parked it in their path Saturday. Moments later, she's seen spitting on a 17-year-old protester. Shorewood police arrested and released Rapkin Saturday night. Rapkin was arrested again on Sunday when she shoved a college student and kneed an officer. So far, she faces at least 1 charge of battery.
A couple of elementary school students in Waunakee are joining in on the protests, showing their support for the Black Lives Matter movement in their own way. 9-year-old Jaden Lomas in Waunakee stands across from the high school every day, holding a Black Lives Matter sign. A lot of people honk in support when they see him. He's hoping this small act can spread awareness because he says he wants justice and equality.
I'm out here holding a sign because all the cops, I've been watching videos of them hurting people.
Jaden says he plans on being out there every day until, quote, things get nicer.
6:08 is your time right now. Let's take a closer look at the roads on a Tuesday morning. And looking at Madison right now, no crashes to report. Looks like a few delays in and out of downtown, both on West Wash and East Wash this morning. Beltline looking good so far. If you are headed out right now, you shouldn't have any issues on this Tuesday morning. That's your First Warn traffic.
6:08 now. Coming up, we're taking a look at the latest impacts the coronavirus is having on the economy and when experts say we could see things start to return to normal.
And the travel industry is beginning to take flight once again. How the government is making more destinations accessible to you when we come back.
It's here, Slumberland's huge clearance event. You do not want to miss this one. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, one-of-a-kind items, crazy low prices like sofas as low as $278, this gorgeous bed on closeout for only $148, or this classic sectional for just $799. Plus, get totally free doorstep shipping. No contact, no minimum. Hurry into our huge clearance event and save. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get body pillows regular $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Now, first in Sir Jenian's 90-year history, we're offering Karastan at 30% off, up to $1,000 in rebates and 18-month financing. Enjoy a safe shopping experience and price reductions, cash rebates, and special financing. Local, sustainable Sir Jenian's.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County helps hardworking families get a hand up into stable housing. Habitat homeowners put in sweat equity and often have multiple jobs to pay the low-interest mortgage on their home. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
Good morning from the Hattie-O Patio. What a nice start today. We have clear skies right now. Temperatures are in the 60s this morning. It's not terribly humid yet, but that is going to change as we go through the day. Let's take a look at where we start this morning. A live look in the Platteville area. You can see that those clouds are starting to get a little thicker already. We are going to lose our sunshine through the morning hours today with rain expected for the afternoon. Temperatures are starting in the 60s, as I mentioned, 69 in Platteville, 66 in Janesville, 63 here in Madison. North of Dane County, though, we're seeing some 50s on the map. It's actually 58 this morning in the Dells. Dew points are in the 50s as well. Your future track dew points, though, take those numbers into the upper 60s as we go through the afternoon, pretty close to 70 degrees in most spots later today. So you're definitely going to feel the effects of that tropical moisture moving into the area. It's going to be very humid. Our air temperature will climb to highs in the middle 80s today. May feel a little bit warmer. That future track heat index value getting closer to 90 for a couple of hours before that rain moves in. Again, the rain is expected by 4 o'clock here in Madison, a little bit earlier places to the south. Coming up, we'll talk about those rain amounts and where the axis of heaviest rain is expected.
All right, Hattie, thank you very much. 6:13 now. The coronavirus pandemic is predicted to give the world economy its worst blow in 80 years. The World Bank predicts the global gross domestic product will shrink by more than 5% this year. It expects investment, trade, and supply chains to continue to slow in the near term as well. On top of that, the U.S. labor market is taking its biggest hit since the Great Depression. The report expects the U.S. economy, though, to rebound by next year. The National Bureau of Economic Research says the U.S. has been in a recession since February. That ends more than a decade of steady growth. Employment peaked in February, then fell sharply afterward. It's the fastest the committee has ever declared a recession. They acknowledge the deep deep economic downturn caused by the pandemic did play a role in that decision.
Right now, BP is slashing 10,000 jobs as it reels from the crash in oil prices. The company's CEO says it will cut its global workforce by almost 15% in 2020. Most of the oil giant's workforce reductions will affect office jobs. BP also won't be giving a pay increase to its senior leaders through March of next year. The company says cash bonuses for this year are also very unlikely. Wendy's says they are just beginning to recover from shortages brought on by the pandemic. The chain faced beef shortages last month as the coronavirus outbreak temporarily shut down some meat plants. But in an SEC filing on Monday, Wendy's said its beef supply is now pretty much back to normal. One analyst estimated nearly 1 out of 5 Wendy's restaurants was out of beef last month. That forced many locations to get creative and shift toward chicken products. Analysts say Wendy's was more exposed to shortages because it relies on fresh beef more than some competitors. Dunkin' Donuts will be adding 25,000 jobs as restaurants start to reopen in the U.S. The chain says its franchises are looking to fill a range of positions, including management roles. Dunkin' launched an ad campaign as well to support recruiting efforts.
Strong warnings from the Federal Trade Commission continue this morning, aimed at companies that might be trying to profit off of fears over COVID-19. The FTC is sending out nearly 40 more letters, warning against unsubstantiated claims about potential treatments. Those include things like IV infusions and stem cell therapy. In total, the commission says it sent out warnings to more than 160 companies. The CDC says Americans are still misusing bleach in an effort to fight the virus. The organization says an internet panel surveyed 500 people last month. 39% of respondents admitted to incorrectly using bleach and disinfectants. 19% of them said they washed their food with disinfectant. 4% of people admitted to drinking or gargling bleach. The CDC says these are all high-risk practices that no one should be doing. President Trump is preparing to hit the road again for his re-election. Trump's campaign manager says the president will relaunch in-person rallies over the next couple of weeks. Trump hasn't held a rally since mid-March. They're still working out the exact times and locations of these rallies. The president is set to hold his first in-person fundraiser by the end of the week.
Air travel isn't sky high just yet, but the number of people traveling is on the rise this morning. Over the past weekend, airlines reported their most traffic since before the pandemic. TSA says it screened more than 400,000 people for the first time in nearly 11 weeks. American Airlines says this was its busiest weekend since early March. Still, though, air travel hasn't completely bounced back. The TSA says Sunday was only 17% of the same Sunday last year. With those increased travel numbers, the Pentagon is adding to the list of places you can safely go right now. The Pentagon says travel restrictions are now over to several countries, including Belgium, Germany, Japan, and the UK. The restrictions, of course, were put in place to try and limit the spread of coronavirus. The Pentagon said the decision was based on 3 things: shelter-in-place orders being lifted in those areas, fewer people with COVID-19 and flu-like symptoms over the course of 2 weeks, and fewer new COVID-19 cases or positive tests. Another sign that summer travel is rebounding, Airbnb says it is seeing a surge in bookings. The company says it has had more bookings in the last 2 weeks than this same time last year, including Memorial Day. Airbnb's CEO says customers appear to be sticking to drivable locations within 200 miles of their home. People also are booking stays of more than a week due to the increase in remote working. Despite the increase, Airbnb expects this year's revenue to be half of what it was last year. Though we are getting out more, experts say it is still important to avoid crowds whenever possible.
Thanks to a new Google Maps update, staying socially distant while running your errands could be a lot easier. The company says the app will add coronavirus-related travel information, like how crowded a train station might be and national border restrictions. The app uses data from users who have opted into Google location history, or you can contribute by marking how crowded it is wherever you are.
I think this is a great idea.
I'm going to feel a lot safer going certain places if I know how busy they are.
Yeah, and I think I've already been kind of doing that with grocery stores, gas stations. I go at a time of day I think less people are going to be there just to avoid those crowds. So
very smart.
Yeah.
Google helping us out. All right, in tracking the origins of the coronavirus, new data shows it could have been spreading in China as early as August. A new study from the Harvard Medical School looked at internet search trends and satellite images of hospital parking. When comparing the parking lots to the year before, they found a significantly higher number of cars parked at 5 Wuhan hospitals. They also found an uptick in keywords associated with infectious diseases in online searches.
The World Health Organization says spread of the virus by asymptomatic patients appears to be rare. The WHO shows that when following asymptomatic cases, contact tracers are not finding secondary transmissions from those patients. It says those without symptoms are typically just very mild cases of the virus, meaning they are not coughing or sneezing and therefore not producing droplets that spread COVID-19. It's not known what percentage of patients are asymptomatic right now. All studies done so far are inconclusive. In Wisconsin, health officials here report 2/3 of people with COVID-19 are now recovered. There are no new deaths reported in the state yesterday. In total, more than 21,000 people have tested positive in Wisconsin. 20 minutes past 6 o'clock and still ahead for us on this Tuesday morning. How soon you could be able to take a group selfie while staying socially distant.
And coming up in our next half hour, the World Health Organization has some suggestions for protesters when it comes to coronavirus. What you should do if you've joined the movement. That's when News 3 Now this morning returns.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
Social distancing and family quarantines are a jarring reality for kids. It's a big adjustment, so it's important that we adults do what we can to help them navigate this new normal. Encourage your kids to ask questions and give them honest, age-appropriate answers. Show them things that they can do to regain some control. And above all, reassure them that their safety is your top priority.
Now more than ever, SSM Health and News 3 Now encourage you to take time for kids.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands out from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Where she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. My Miss Lindy. She's my Lindy. My only Lindy. Well, I love that little girl.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
Just when the temp goes crazy, there's a ceiling fan sale at Madison Lighting. Cool your family room with a fan's gentle breeze and save money on your energy bill. Contemporary to farmhouse, Madison Lighting has hundreds of fans to choose from, with lots in stock right now. Add a fan in your bedroom and save. It's whisper quiet. And if you're working from home, save more during the ceiling fan sale at Madison Lighting. But hurry, sale ends June 20th.
Lately, we've found new ways to support and care for each other. And while every gesture counts, so too does every dollar. That's why American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that supporting your dreams means the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save.
To most people, the idea of fighting is unpleasant. But sometimes to make things right, it's necessary to fight. Some things are worth fighting for. If you or your family has been injured, you'll want a good law firm on your side to make things right again. Since 1930, Habish, Habish & Rotier has recovered more million-dollar results for our clients than any other law firm in Wisconsin. Habish, Habish & Rotier. We fight for what's right.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Brien, owner of the Healthy Place Apple Wellness, and boy, has this been a rough season. We are here for you. We're open. Our wellness consultants are trained in the top immune, lung, and inflammation supplements that are important right now. We have live chat on our website and same-day delivery for our Dane County residents, so you do not need to leave the house. We support you. Stop by one of our 4 Madison-based locations or check us out online at findyourhealthyplace.com.
Welcome back, 6:23 on your Tuesday. We always ask you to share your morning with us, and Eric sent in his evening. This is actually a sunset.
Nice sunset pic there. We've had so many blue skies lately, which has been really nice because we were stuck in the clouds for weeks, it seemed.
Hattie was reminding us that we're getting to the longest days of the year, so we don't even see the sunset. So this is a nice peek of something we don't normally see, Hattie.
Right, I haven't seen a sunset in weeks.
For real.
This is kind of neat. This is what it looks like, right?
I mean, I'm kind of biased, but sunrises I think are better, but
Oh.
Just because I'm a morning person.
Just because you haven't seen these.
That's true.
They're both beautiful.
I'm never up late enough.
They are both beautiful. Thank you, Eric, for sharing this.
If you'd like to share your morning or evening with us, all you have to do is use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on News 3 Now this morning.
Yes, we will.
Well, taking a selfie while you're social distancing is easy, but group selfies, on the other hand, not so much.
That is unless Apple builds the software they just got the patent for. Check this out. The software would allow you to invite people to be in a group selfie. It would then remove each person's actual background, giving everyone the same background and actually putting them together in the same image. Apple actually filed for the patent 2 years ago, but it didn't go through until this month.
Boy, technology can do anything.
Can you, like, I can't even think the last time that we took a news team selfie here.
Well, you were saying earlier, it's so awkward when we try to, because we're trying to stay 6 feet within each other, not make anybody uncomfortable, but you just can't. You can't.
And then it never looks like 6 feet. I know we've done it before. I'm like, we're pretty vigilant of it, and then people comment social distancing.
We hear you. We hear you when you think we're not socially distancing. We appreciate you keeping an eye out for us.
Yeah, it's quite the new life we live now.
It is indeed.
That is true. Well, we have something occurring today that doesn't typically happen here in southern Wisconsin. A tropical storm, or the remnants of a tropical storm, are moving in. Bailey, not so impressed, though. Bailey's going to sleep right through it. Our pet walk forecast, or our pet nap forecast, is a little wet at 3 with temperatures in the middle 80s. Here's a look at where that storm system is right now. It is getting into the southern parts of Iowa. You can see the rain spreading across the state line there. Our rain here in Madison, again, probably after 3 p.m. We're looking at around an inch here in the capital city.
Thank you, Hattie. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time, with no surprises, with the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
You were always the responsible one, so much like me, always taking care of everyone else. But this wasn't your responsibility. I already took care of the arrangements. The Ryans made it so easy. I didn't want you to worry about a thing. It's my last gift to you, my lovely daughter.
Get more help with your laundry at the Laundry Cleanup Sale now at the Brothers Maine. Save time and money with the latest in laundry from Whirlpool, Maytag, and Amana. Maine means more with free delivery on washer-dryer pairs and our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee, so you'll be 100% confident with your purchase. That's why we're the More Store. It's the Laundry Cleanup Sale with more selection, more savings, and more help with your laundry. Only at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Home is dancing because no one's watching. Home is a reason to disturb the peace. Home is laughter. Home is where heads come to rest. A place to let go and a place to find again. At Stanley Steamer, we love home, and we know that a clean home is a healthy home. We're ready when you are.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, US Cellular has your back with the Samsung Galaxy S25G. Free when you switch, plus no activation fees. Stream without disruption, capture and post without restriction, and do it all without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
As protesters push for change, lawmakers start listening. We're tracking several new bills at the local and national levels. Why we could see change as soon as tonight in Madison.
Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin as remnants of Cristobal move into the area. All the details are coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, June 9th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. Hope your morning is starting off well. Chris Stanford has the day off. Tropical depression Cristobal is making its way to the Midwest today, and as you can see, it's already causing some serious damage to our south.
Yeah, this video is out of Louisiana this morning, where streets and homes are flooded along the coast in New Orleans. Meteorologist Hattie McLean has been tracking the system for days now, and she's got more on alert days in our forecast because of it. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. That's right. We've been talking about the system for about a week now, and it will arrive today. It has prompted alert days for today and Wednesday for southern Wisconsin. The threat for heaviest rain is going to be today into tonight, but the rain chances will continue, and we'll add up those two-day rain totals anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, especially west of Madison. If there have been any changes with this particular system, it's that it's tracking a little bit further to the west. You can see those bands of rain rotating around the center of the system that is south of St. Louis this morning. Still some pretty heavy rain, though, occurring right now across parts of Missouri. Those rain showers will lift northward through the day, and flash flood watches are in effect. Here in southern Wisconsin, they'll start this afternoon and go through this evening. No flash flood watches for us here in Madison. That's because we're expected to remain just a little bit further to the east of the heaviest bands of rain. You can see from Iowa, eastern parts of Iowa into northwestern Wisconsin, a band of 2 to 4 inches of rain is possible with this system. Those amounts do diminish, though, as you head eastward, with around an inch expected here in Madison. The severe weather outlook still paints southern Wisconsin and western Wisconsin, for that matter, in a marginal risk. From Minneapolis down to Madison and over to Milwaukee, all points south and west of that line are under marginal risk for severe weather today. The main threat today will be heavy rain and the potential for an isolated tornado or two. Temperatures this morning have warmed in Mineral Point and Platteville, with a bit of cloud cover moving in already. They're at 70 degrees there, still 63 here in Madison. Take a look at your future track forecast model. It shows you by lunchtime today those clouds thickening up and spreading through most of the area. At noon, we could see the initial bands of rain starting to push into southwestern Wisconsin. Heading towards the 3 o'clock hour, starting to get real wet right along the state line. You see that heavy, steady, persistent rain to our west. More of a shower and thunderstorm threat here in Madison. It'll be a little bit more scattered as that moisture lifts northward. Highs today will be in the 80s, and it looks like that rain will lift northward out of the area overnight. Rain chances, though, return on Wednesday as a cold front moves through the area. Look for showers and even a few isolated thunderstorms through the afternoon and evening. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures that are going to cool down. One more day in the 80s today. Then we're back to 72 tomorrow. Just an isolated threat for a shower on Thursday. Otherwise, dry weather heading into the weekend. Very pleasant as well, with low humidity and lots of sunshine.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have a little relief in that forecast.
Right. That is true.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Today is George Floyd Day in Harris County, Texas, home to George Floyd. You're taking a live look at Houston this morning. Today is also the day of Floyd's funeral. He'll be buried next to his mother after the private service. However, that service will be live streamed on CBSN and online starting this morning at 11. We're coming off of the 10th night of protests in Madison, and a few hundred protesters gathered blocks from the Capitol to support the Black Lives Matter movement overnight. It was the first night the group didn't actually gather directly on the square like we've seen over the past week.
Local police chiefs are responding to some of the demands by protesters. You've likely seen the 8 Can't Wait movement on social media. It's a list of policies like bans on chokeholds and requiring de-escalation. Chiefs we spoke with in Madison, Fitchburg, and Janesville say they're all mostly in compliance with these ideas, but they are open to doing more. They say, though, officer safety is still a concern. The biggest police union in the state says this makes a total ban on some of those procedures difficult.
Right now, the system doesn't work at all. Like, it's completely asymmetric.
That right there is a member of Madison's ad hoc committee tasked with making plans for a police auditor position. The full city council here in Madison will vote on the idea tonight. However, the activist group Urban Triage is concerned about the position, calling into question how independent it would be from police and the city. The mayor says the job description and position would be posted as soon as it's approved by council.
A new police accountability bill is headed to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's desk, and he plans on signing it. The Eric Garner Anti-Chokehold Act would make it so an officer who hurts or kills someone by using a chokehold can be charged with a Class C felony. It's punishable by up to 15 years in prison. It is named after Eric Garner, who died in 2014 after telling police he couldn't breathe when he was put in a chokehold by an NYPD officer. Chokeholds have already been banned by the department in 1993. In D.C., House and Senate Democrats hope to get their own anti-chokehold bill passed. The reform bill would ban the tactic in addition to making it easier to prosecute officers for police brutality. Even if it passes the Democratic-led House, it'll likely face obstacles in the Republican-controlled Senate.
Republican Senator Mitt Romney hopes his version of a police reform bill will gain some traction. The Utah lawmaker criticized Democrats for their bill, which hasn't gotten any Republican support. Politico reports he's working with a handful of GOP senators on the bill. The plan isn't completely written out yet, but Romney says he hopes to create supervisory boards to determine if unnecessary force or racial profiling was used by officers. It's also expected to add new training programs aimed at fighting racial bias.
This morning, Joe Biden is commenting on the state of police departments in the U.S. after meeting with George Floyd's family in Houston. In an exclusive interview with CBS News' Nora O'Donnell, he says he doesn't support defunding police, but he does support giving federal aid to departments based on whether police meet, quote, certain basic standards of decency and honorableness. The presumptive Democratic nominees campaign put out a statement saying Biden supports the urgent need for reform, including funding for public schools, summer programs, and mental health and substance abuse treatment, separate from funding for policing. Last week, Biden promised to create a police oversight board within his first 100 days in office if elected.
That interview is part of a one-hour primetime special that's happening this evening called Justice for All. CBS This Morning co-host Gayle King will be anchoring it. She's going to explore how George Floyd's death ignited a movement demanding an end to the painful history of systemic racism. You can watch that tonight at 9 o'clock right here on News 3 Now.
Right now, Senator Tammy Baldwin and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes are taking your experiences of the coronavirus pandemic to Capitol Hill.
We have to remember that we are still in the middle of a public health emergency and that these are not two separate conversations. And you can't talk about COVID in the state without talking about equity, because systemic racism has led to the outcomes that we're seeing in COVID patients. And it's played such an outside role.
The two political leaders hosted an online town hall to hear about Wisconsinites' struggles, thoughts on reopening, and what they still need from the Trump administration. They're also pushing for federal lawmakers to fight for new policies. They want the Senate to take up the HEROES Act, which Republicans say was dead on arrival. It includes $3 trillion in relief aid and another stimulus check.
Even during the coronavirus pandemic, the World Health Organization says protests against racism are important. The demonstrations have gone global at this point, with thousands showing up in Paris, Milan, London, and dozens of other countries. Their impact on the virus, though, won't be known for a few weeks. In the meantime, the director of the organization recommends protesters demonstrate safely, doing things like staying home if you're sick, wearing a mask, and getting tested after attending a protest. Here in Dane County, we are not moving into phase 2 of reopening yet. Health officials say they will start analyzing data from the last 2 weeks before deciding whether we can move on to phase 2. We entered phase 1 2 weeks ago on May 26th. As it is right now, we do meet the minimum requirements to go into phase 2. A decision, though, is not expected until Friday.
You can now get tested for coronavirus at 2 separate locations in Sauk County. Today and Thursday, testing will be available at Reedsburg Ambulance from 8 until noon. On Thursday, the National Guard will then be offering drive-through testing at Bridges Elementary in Prairie du Sac. That'll be from 11 in the morning until 6 that night. Testing is free and open to anyone, not just area residents. You will have to register ahead of time, though, in order to get tested.
UW-Madison is taking a closer look at which communities in our area are more at risk for catching the coronavirus. Here's a look at their map. It shows the percentage of people who have 2 or more risk factors when it comes to coronavirus, and it's all broken down by zip code. The darker areas are more at risk. You can see here the zip code of Madison near the city's east side and Stoughton are both a darker shade of blue, with 25 to 35% of folks at higher risk. Then let's take a look at Rock County. It's a different picture there. Nearly all the zip codes in that county are at 25% or higher. 53537 and 53548 are most at risk. We have all of this information up on channel3000.com as well.
As Texas gets ready to reopen more businesses and double capacity limits, the state is seeing record-breaking coronavirus hospitalizations. NPR reports more than 1,900 people are currently in Texas hospitals fighting the virus. That is up from a previous record set more than a month ago on May 5th. The state's governor lifted statewide stay-at-home restrictions on May 1st. An increase in cases is also being seen across several other states, some with the restrictions still in place. The New York Times reports 20 states are reporting a rise in cases recently. That includes California, Michigan, Washington, and North Carolina. The WHO says the same is true worldwide. The group says the outbreak is worsening across the globe this morning. 6:40 is your time. A look at your traffic on this Tuesday morning. Looks like no crashes to report across Dane County. Rock County looking good. Even on the interstate right now, you should have no issues as you head up towards Madison. Let's take a live look outside coming up on 641. Beautiful start out there. Look at the sun is shining. You will want to get outside early on today as Hattie's talking about some heavy rain from a post-tropical system. That's coming up in her forecast.
And it is cause for celebration. What New Zealand is doing after seeing no new coronavirus cases in nearly 3 weeks.
Welcome to the all-new Dwellings.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Now every hybrid vehicle in Toyota's lineup is available with 0% financing. With fewer stops for gas, Toyota hybrids give you the confidence to go farther. And with 0% financing, Toyota hybrids are even more thrilling. Enjoy more freedom in a Toyota hybrid. See your Toyota dealer or shop and buy online.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
I love to equal the playing field. I love to help people and allow them to feel like they are powerful instead of powerless. We're with our clients every step of the way.
Gingras, Thompson, and Walks.
Good morning, class. Today's lesson is about shop and welcome. Do you know what day is coming up?
608 Day. You just go to MadisonMagazine.com, click on 608 Day to find great deals from businesses we love in the 608. You know, like the area code.
Very good, Emmy. When does this take place?
The week of June 8th, 608. Madison Magazine makes it easy to shop local.
She's my star student.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At Shopco Optical, your eyes are everything to us too. Which is why we offer everything to help you see better and look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're Shopco Optical. You'll see.
Dwellings, Madison's best kept $150 secret. Now open in Fitchburg.
News 3 Now, Channel 3000, and Madison Magazine are pleased to partner with Madison Metropolitan School District to give its high school seniors a graduation to remember. Join us for special commencement ceremonies with messages from students and principals, musical performances, and virtual walk across the stage photo tributes to the graduates. Class of 2020, born to make history. June 12th and 13th on News 3 Now and streamed live on Channel 3000.
With no active cases of the coronavirus for 17 days now, folks in New Zealand are no longer required to follow social distancing suggestions.
Almost all of that country's virus restrictions are now lifted, except for opening their border back up. People there can now hug, high five, and hang out with their friends. Folks are now going back to cafes and picking up Pilates classes.
Boy, looks like life is back to normal there. The country's prime minister says even though this is a big moment, they do anticipate seeing new cases again at some point. It says they're prepared for when that happens. Most new cases will likely be imported as people enter the country, but right now the border still shut to everyone except citizens, and everybody who enters does have to go into quarantine.
It almost looked like in that dancing video that the guy had some sanitizing spray.
You guys missed it. Josh is dancing during this video. You're missing real life.
I just can't. It's just good to see people having fun again and like interacting with. You know, we've been alone for so long that
Addie, you said earlier it looked like they were happy there.
They're very happy. They look like they're having a blast dancing in the street.
Oh,
we
must be
forget
nice.
what that's like.
Someday we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
I guess it's the little things, right?
It really is.
You never knew that were so important. Well, let's take a look at the sky camera shot this morning. We do still have sunshine here in Madison, although starting to see a little bit more cloud cover. These are the first initial signs of the remnants of Cristobal coming into southern Wisconsin. So first we get the clouds, eventually we'll get the rain. Let's take a look at our weather track. It does show you the thicker clouds right along the state line right now, all lifting to the north today. It is 63 here in Madison, up to 72 in Mineral Point and 70 in Platteville. That tropical moisture is moving in today, and you'll definitely notice dew points are going to climb into the mid and upper 60s, so it's going to feel much more humid today than it did yesterday. Our temperatures will top right around 85 with a pretty strong easterly wind. After 3 o'clock, we'll start to see those showers and thunderstorms here in Madison. Future track heat index, though, in some spots before the rain arrives, will be approaching 90 degrees, so you'll definitely feel that humidity. Here's a look at what we have coming up. We will time out that rain, tell you exactly when the rain will move into southern Wisconsin.
All right, Hattie, thank you very much. 6:46 your time now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we're going to tell you how much money tear gas companies are making off the U.S. government.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Download the Channel 3000 app today.
It's here, Slumberland's huge clearance event. You do not want to miss this one. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, one-of-a-kind items, crazy low prices like sofas as low as $278, this gorgeous bed on closeout for only $148, or this classic sectional for just $799. Plus, get totally free doorstep shipping. No contact, no minimum. Hurry into our huge clearance event and save. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
I do all my shoe shopping at Rogan's because I know that I find what I'm looking for and save. You can count on great service, a huge selection, the best name brands, and the second pair is half price. And one more thing, a choice in how you save. I can get my second pair half price now, or just save my receipt, come back anytime, and get my next pair for half price. Rogan's makes saving easy.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Just when the temp goes crazy, there's a ceiling fan sale at Madison Lighting. Cool your family room with a fan's gentle breeze and save money on your energy bill. Contemporary to farmhouse, Madison Lighting has hundreds of fans to choose from, with lots in stock right now. Add a fan in your bedroom and save. It's whisper quiet. And if you're working from home, save more during the ceiling fan sale at Madison Lighting. But hurry, sale ends June 20th.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With special offers like 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Now get 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Contact your Ford dealer or stop by today.
How to get more out of your Wisconsin Dells vacation. Ride more rides, slide more slides, maybe even go for a train ride. Have more fun than a barrel of monkeys. Bite off more than you can chew. Who says less is more? More like more is more. Now that's more like it. Hey, you're getting more than you bargained for. All the more reason to do a little more. Need I say more? Wisconsin Dells. That's more like it. Go to wisdells.com and start planning your trip to the water park capital of the world today.
A sale like never before, on now at Fry Construction.
Just about 6:50, time for the morning sprint.
We start with meteorologist Hattie McLean tracking your alert day forecast. Hattie?
That's right, Leah and Josh. It is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. Temperatures will climb into the mid-80s in many spots before that rain arrives. You can see on the radar map this morning that those rain bands from the remnants of the tropical storm are just starting to move into Iowa, continuing to lift northward through the day. Track of heaviest rain is just a little bit further to the west, but we're still going to see showers and thunderstorms here in Madison, especially after 3 p.m.
Hattie, thank you. Today is George Floyd Day in Harris County, Texas, which is home to George Floyd. You're taking a live look at Houston this morning. Today is also the day of Floyd's funeral. He'll be buried next to his mother after that private service. However, you can watch that service on CBSN and online starting at 11 this morning.
We are coming off the 10th night of protests in Madison. A few hundred protesters gathered blocks from the Capitol to support the Black Lives Matter movement overnight. It was the first night the group didn't gather directly on the square like we've seen over the past week.
Madison's ad hoc committee is pushing for an independent police auditor position, which the city council will vote on tonight. They originally recommended it years ago after Tony Robinson's death. However, the activist group Urban Triage is concerned about the position, calling into question how independent it would be from police and the city. The mayor says the job description and position would be posted as soon as it's approved by the council.
A new police accountability bill is headed to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's desk, and he plans on signing it. The Eric Garner Anti-Chokehold Act would make it a felony for any officer to hurt or kill someone by using a chokehold. The act is punishable by up to 15 years in prison. The bill is named after Eric Garner, who died in 2014 while an officer had him in a chokehold.
A tear gas maker and 2 of its distributors have taken in $137 million in sales from the U.S. government over the last 3.5 years. Safariland's tear gas was used last week to clear protesters from the White House. The sales don't include the money spent by local agencies. Those canisters cost $26 each. The sales are up from more than $50 million from the previous 3.5-year period.
We have to remember that we are still in the middle of a public health emergency.
Senator Tammy Baldwin and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes are taking your experiences during the coronavirus pandemic to Capitol Hill. The two hosted an online town hall to hear about Wisconsinites' struggles, thoughts on reopening, and what they still need from the Trump administration. They're also pushing for the Senate to take up the HEROES Act. That includes $3 trillion in relief aid, including another stimulus check.
As protests and the push for change continue nationwide, CBS This Morning co-host Gayle King will anchor a 1-hour primetime special this evening called Justice for All. She'll explore how George Floyd's death ignited a movement demanding an end to the painful history of systemic racism and brutality in police departments across the country. You can watch that right here tonight at 9 o'clock, followed by News 3 Now at 10.
Dane County health officials will start analyzing data they've collected over the last 2 weeks to determine whether we can move into phase 2 of their reopening plan. We first entered phase 1 2 weeks ago on May 26th. As it is right now, we meet the minimum requirements to go into phase 2. However, we're told a decision isn't expected until Friday as this data is further analyzed.
You can now get tested for coronavirus at 2 separate locations in Sauk County. Today and Thursday, testing will be available at Reedsburg Ambulance from 8 until noon. On Thursday, the National Guard will offer drive-through testing at Bridges Elementary in Prairie du Sac. That'll be from 11 in the morning until 6 that night. Testing is free and open to anyone, not just area residents. You will have to register ahead of time, though, in order to get tested.
UW-Madison is taking a closer look at which communities in our area are more at risk for catching the coronavirus. This map shows the percent of people who have 2 or more risk factors broken down by zip code. This is a look at Dane County. The darker areas are more at risk.
Now let's take a look at Rock County, which looks a lot different than Dane. While most of Dane's zip codes were in the 15-25% risk range, all of the Rock counties is at 25% or higher. 53537 and 53548 are most at risk, with 35% or more of those residents in with 2 or more risk factors.
Breaking news just into the newsroom within the last hour and a half. Madison police have a person under arrest after a shots fired call on East Washington Avenue. This is the same area where a 19-year-old was shot Sunday night. This latest case happened near the Mocha location just after 2 a.m. Police found a number of people there who appeared to be in some sort of disturbance. One person had a head injury, though it wasn't from a gun and it wasn't serious. Officers are still investigating. Madison police also trying to find whoever's responsible for damaging property outside of Leopold Elementary School. Police say several windows, lights, and security cameras were broken sometime overnight Sunday. Staff members are still checking to see if anything inside was damaged or stolen.
Voters in 5 states will submit their ballots today as primaries continue across the country. Georgia is one of those states, and they're seeing record voting before polling places even open their doors. More than 1.2 million ballots have already been cast. More than 950,000 of them were mail-in ballots, and there's still 600,000 absentee ballots outstanding. The state says it won't be releasing results until all precincts are closed.
A conservative law firm is asking the Wisconsin Elections Commission to make it illegal for outside groups to send or return absentee ballots. That's according to the State Journal this morning. The outside groups are usually partisan. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is the same group that filed the voter purge lawsuit, which could remove more than 200,000 registered voters from the rolls.
6:55, final look at road conditions this Tuesday morning. Looks like your drive times, everything in the green. If you're heading into downtown Madison this morning, you shouldn't have any issues. That's your First Warn traffic.
And your First Warn weather includes 2 alert days for southern Wisconsin today and tomorrow. The remnants of a tropical system will bring the threat for severe weather and heavy rain to the area today. Any rain chances come to an end on Wednesday, but 2-day rain totals in excess of 3 inches in some spots. Take a look at the latest forecast precipitation amounts. Lighter amounts here in Madison as the exact track of this storm system is lining up a little bit further to the west. So those higher rain totals right along the Mississippi River Valley, that's where the heaviest rain will be. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Again, we dry out for the upcoming weekend and turn very nice once again. A beautiful weekend forecast coming up with sunshine and highs in the 70s.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Good morning for the pool. Make it a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.